Well, the plot sickens. Hey, look, it's the most interesting entertainment story at the moment. So, multiple videos on this could be forthcoming, and this might be the final one for a while. I don't know. We'll see. After all, tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Anyway, so this is the Hollywood Reporter weighing in on a brief article about, hey, what's going on? And see, James Gunn just wanted his suit. And now he's getting swell-headed. But no, this one boils down. They review what happened, and nearly 2 months. Yeah, kind of less than that. He announced, yeah, I'm back, and the studio said, yeah, go ahead, Henry. But there was no solid deal. So, yeah, I guess Grace Randolph can take the win on that, even though that's not exactly how she was putting it. But anyway. So, the big question is why? What was the definitive reasons for this? And this article seems to suggest it had to do with Black Adam. And so they're saying their source says, in the end, Henry was a pawn in Dwayne's failed attempt to control a piece of DC. Now, the interesting thing about that the way he was so bombastic about it all, it made it sound like he wanted to take over the whole shebang and put his people in charge of the DC universe and all of that. And Zaslav ended up going with Gunn. So if he just wanted more say-so over the Shazam property and all of that, I think that could be a deal they could work out. Of course, the problem for him is Black Adam. Here they say it grossed, that. And I know that he's claiming other things, but that's unrealized profits and stuff like that. The more you think about it, which I didn't at the time. It's like, maybe. But even then, it's like, it needed to be a smash hit for him to want that kind of power over the property. And it's not going to be. But why this still doesn't answer, this doesn't really answer the question. Did Johnson bully his way around and piss people off and that's it? Why does Cavill have to pay for this? Well, because he's represented by the same management, and that's the deal. There's a little more to it. I think it's the money. Now, it says he was paid $250,000 each for his cameos. Because he did film cameos for The Flash. Where it is now, that's all being cut. Apparently the Wonder Woman cameos, which known about that for quite a while. Apparently that'll be cut. I don't know how much is in it. I guess it's just Ben Affleck will be in it, I guess, still. And then Keaton. That's it. I mean, it's getting to where the movie's so cut up. Is there any reason to watch it now? So it goes on. They're well aware of the sensitivities of the high-profile cast that Zack Snyder cast and the popularity with them. But moving on. I think it still comes down to that it's just cheaper to go with the new cast. And this has to be a total reboot. And I think, we'll be hearing that Jason Momoa's final outing as Aquaman is Aquaman 2. And thinking that he did release that image of him all excited about a phone call he just got. And I think that's Lobo. And which in a lot of ways makes sense. I thought he could have done both. But there you go. And Henry moving on to Warhammer. Hope that works out for him. He left Witcher. He was earning $1 million per episode, so it's not all bad. But he's out of it. So anyway, yes, this is the terrible thing about it. Of course, it's other factors. They didn't have a leader for the DC studios just yet. It's just by default, DeLuca and Abdi were in charge, and they okayed this, and they were wanting a Man of Steel sequel. And apparently the Stephen Knight was the guy they were getting to write up a treatment for it. And that Brainiac, oh man, this is exactly what I wanted. Would have been the villain. And all that is gone. Now, Brainiac would be a very expensive thing to film. And so maybe that plays into it. So we probably still won't get Brainiac. or a very depowered Brainiac in the new film, which is early Superman. Maybe they'll call it The Superman. What Nirvana song could be used as the theme, like the Batman? At least he won't be moping around through the whole thing. You know, you can understand that for Batman, but not Superman. That'll just be it. It'll all be bright, sunshiny all the time, and he's smiling in every scene. But he's mostly Clark Kent. Because they don't have the money. So, much ado about nothing. Fuck. So yeah, Black Adam plays a part in this per se, and that would explain why you're not going to see any more Shazam. And I mean, the whole DCEU is gone. I'm thinking, they'll maybe revisit those characters in a future version, but I don't think that's happening. So Shazam: Fear of the Gods will probably be the final for that, and they'll have to search for a new Black Adam down the road because, and then man, Dwayne Johnson's been chasing the Black Adam role for well over 10 years, probably close to 20, and this is how it ends up. Now watch the movie again today because it's on HBO Max. Boy, it premiered on HBO Max, and then all this comes out right before it. Boy, it's just practically sabotaged. Jeez. It's nothing good. There's nothing good about this. The best hope is that every tempers cool down by the time they release their new Superman, and hope for the best. But this is bad. And okay, Black Adam didn't do well, and well, best luck next time, Dwayne. You tried. But why does Henry Cavill, just because they're represented by the same management, has to, be punished for this? It has to be that he's too expensive. The movie they want to do with him is too expensive. And so Gunn and Safran probably explained all this, because that's what Zaslav has to bow to, is the money realities and where they are, and constantly slashing all these different shows and licensing them out and having trouble with Netflix paying on those licenses, and needs cash now. And then Safran makes up, well, all right, here's your options. It's cheaper to go with someone new and reboot the whole thing. And so finally, yeah, all right. And maybe it was Dwayne Johnson's attitude pissed him off to push him, but that's a terrible way to make a decision. If it's on the cold, hard cash realities, I hate it, but I understand it, and I can respect that. And that's the right decision, sadly. But if any of that gets tied to stuff and just panicking, which is what ruined the whole thing in the first place. They kept changing things at 11th hour in all the different movies. Closest thing you actually got to a Zack Snyder movie was Man of Steel, I guess. I don't know, because even that was preordained. It's got to be Superman Begins. It's got to be dark and gritty and grounded in reality and all that stuff. I get, the Snyder cut is his, he gets a lot of blame, and some of it he deserves. That's the point I make there on Snyder and his crappy attitude towards geeks and gamers and all that. But boy, are there more sinners in all of this, far beyond him. And that's not the fault of the current guys coming in. They inherited a mess, and it's tough to fix and save, and it still might get sold off. So anyway, finally, Gunn responded to a fan who accused Warner Brothers and DC of stringing Cavill along to goose Black Adam's opening weekend. Well, in the end, that's kind of what happened. Was it their intention? It all boiled down to how well Black Adam would do. And yes, the Superman cameo was the only boost it got. Probably would have done far worse without it. So, Gunn in a comment on his Instagram said, everything with Black Adam happened before I was around. Well, before he was in charge. So, it all the stuff about Black Adam, he's saying that's all Johnson and his people. So there's not a lot of happy campers involved in all this, obviously. So I guess there's some truth to the rumors that they didn't get along and all that, but that's the deal. I think that's getting closer and closer to, yes, it's a full reboot. It isn't just Henry Cavill's gone. And it's unfortunate, but if there is an actual metric of the money that explains that a total reboot is their best option, that's the way it is. Don't like it, but that's the way it is. Sometimes it rains on your birthday, Sometimes it does. All right, there you go.